Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
Y yo soy Mimi Cherry.
Mimi Cherry is back. You love Mimi Cherry, of course. Other times she was on, like any guest, you can do keithandthegirl.com/Mimi Cherry. She
What?
was on with Rich Duncan. Rich happened to be the first guy that ever put me on stage as a comic. And by on stage, I mean at the front of the floor. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's
Yes.
some little backroom club. That's episode 3844, Set for Life. And then she was on episode 3881, Series of Fortunate Events, her podcast. Presents the 2024 wrap up show. And so she was nice enough to let me put that show on the Keith and the Girl feed to make sure everybody caught it. But take a look at SOFPod, standing for Series of Fortunate Events, sofpod.com. And
Or Sophie, as I like to call her.
Sophie, it's good to see you again.
Thank you. It's good to be
And
seen.
it happens to be Pride Month, and I can't
Yes.
think of who better to have on to help close the month out.
With my glittery microphone if you're on YouTube.
No kidding. No, I mean just the microphone. Your whole place is decked out
Ah.
for progressive movements.
I call it an artist's hobbit hole. Like you walk in here, you know an artist lives here.
Yes, yeah. You know not to bring up Trump's new song "Bomb Iran" when you're in
What
your building.
song?
We'll get to that.
Oh,
Um, what?
that sounded like a threat.
Well, not to put you on the spot, what could
Sure.
somebody do to help during Pride Month
Oh.
and specifically 2025 in Trump's America? What do we
Ooh.
do?
Okay, so if you want action actionable items, I can give you three actionable items off the top of my head.
Please.
First of all, this current administration is removing funding for things like hotlines. So if you
Yeah.
have the means and you can support privately funded ones like Trevor Project, other things like that, because there are other options. And then if you have also the means and you want to amplify those, organizations, you do that, right? You
Who
you
is
let people
Trevor?
know.
Was Trevor abused? Is it a horrible story?
I want to say yes, and obviously many queer and trans people have been abused and or died, and usually that's when things are named after them.
Right.
So what the story that was, I maybe probably, if I'm guessing, probably a queer child that died of suicide of
Okay.
unaliving. Given that it's more, if I'm not mistaken, like access to prevention to unaliving
Right.
yourself.
Well, we did
And
say
other services because homeless kids can, I mean, queer kids also tend to have a high rates of homelessness. And so the Trevor Project also helps with things like that. So yeah.
because they're being kicked out, obviously, because the
Yeah,
family
yeah, yeah,
can't
yeah.
take it because of religion or
Yes.
politics or being
Another
separate.
actionable item to follow up and not just give you one.
Hmm.
Pedro Pascal right now is very known for walking around with a shirt that says, protect the dolls. There's another
I
campaign
can wear shirts.
where yes, there's another campaign that's Connect the Dolls. Star Amarasu is an amazing trans performer, and they've connected with a designer who those funds are actually going directly to help trans people. So connect the dolls to their dreams. Farmer's Daughter, I want to say, is the designer. I actually just got mine in the mail. And last but not least, if you know a queer person, a trans person, like on Juneteenth, I Venmoed my black friend that I know runs the reparations show. And I said, I'm
Okay.
sending my reparations running friend their reparations. And so a queer person right now, queer Pride started as a riot. It was not originally a little parade run around by cops and Uber. It
Right.
was
And but you don't mean party when you say riot.
no, well, Pride was
Right.
a riot. Like
No, I
it
follow.
was, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, 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 yeah, no, not like a musical,
Right.
event. No, it was a trans woman who was in a queer space who was tired of cops because then it was illegal to be homosexual, and cops would go and harass people in bars, and they threw a brick at Stonewall, and they said enough is enough. And before that, it was the Compton cafeteria riots out here in San Francisco. So queer and trans people have been fighting for liberation, and again, now under the current regime, when they're taking things away and it spreads onto like not DEI, because DEI is also queer people, a lot of those DEI funds, for example, arts funds were cut, for like city funds. So, for example, something like Oaklash, they had some of their funding cut, but thankfully community steps up and fills in the gap. But yeah, and things
So
like
what
that.
you're saying because like I reported fairly recently, the suicide prevention hotline, while it still works, they got rid of Press 3, and Press 3 is specifically for LGBT youth.
Yeah,
So support these other things that will put out a hotline to help people.
exactly.
You said how you give money to these places that help support those things. I just sent somebody a black eye money on Juneteenth, and that turned into a mess. So make sure they have some kind of project that you reference, right? Okay, I see the difference. All right. Yeah, good for you. You're a big supporter. I see it all the time, and I
Yeah.
just wanted to remind people of that. What's if you had to pick one specifically, what project would you say? Because we don't got time to do research over here. Just give it straight to Trevor, or what?
Oaklash.com, because I actually do know the founders of the organization. I do
Okay.
know the people that it directly impacts. And so the closer you can get to the connection and the impact, the more you know that your money is actually going to its intended purpose. And so Oaklash, for example, it started out as that one started as a party.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
that party then found purpose along the way, and it was in the pandemic, and they started giving grants at that time for performers who couldn't perform because of the pandemic. And then it's extended to other things over time of just giving queer and trans and disabled performers in the Bay Area access to work, access to grants, access to being able to stay in the arts, because the arts are like they're trying to kill the arts. That's another thing. Again, the funding, a lot of the funding that's going away even into schools, right, to kids is like
Right.
arts. They're trying to make us all dumb and boring.
Do when like literally, and we're not going to look less of you if you haven't, but when literally they take away the LGBT hotline that had millions calling in within the 2 years or however long
Yeah.
it's been available, do you just lose your shit? Do you literally cry?
Well, there's so many things to cry about, and I do cry sometimes about many things.
When's the
It can
last
get
time you
over.
cried?
Oh, this morning. But not about this, just other stuff.
Okay.
But no, but it can get overwhelming. And so
Yeah.
I try to, right? Because sometimes I have to take a nap because I get exhausted, because
Hmm.
sometimes I overthink myself into a nap, or I get overwhelmed by the world. But if there there's something that I heard this year. There's this choir concept to social justice, and a choir can hold a note longer because people can come in and out of breath while the choir, the group, holds the
Sure.
note. And so social justice should be thought of the same way. And so we do what we can, right? And so, for example, I get very re-energized by, for example, my mom, right? Who's like a Latina white lady in Florida who is retired and has the time to like go and volunteer. And that's what she's doing. And she goes door to
Okay.
door and like she tries to like make things happen. And so we put our privilege to use wherever we can, right? I try to give back to community. I feel like I'm getting long-winded now and I'm going to stop
No,
talking.
but you're fine. You're fine, and it's appreciated. And I don't know how sometimes you guys do it for real. How it doesn't get fucking beyond exhausting. And I'm grateful you're there that I could go. Hey, I'll throw some bucks at Oaklash, whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
because I don't know.
Whatever the fuck. You know what
I'd
I'm
be,
saying?
but for real,
You pay shit.
I'd lose my shit. I'd be crying daily, thinking, what am I fighting for that the world doesn't give a shit?
Well, it's not even for some of me and my friends, right? It's not even about the world not giving a shit. Is that some of these people want us dead.
Right,
And so like so am I gonna just roll over and die? You know what I mean? And
right.
so like sometimes it's literally about that. And there is liberation and joy too, right? Because again, they want us to be dumb, boring, and like, not happy and sick. And so staying happy is a form of resistance. Being joyful is a form of resistance. Being silly is a form of resistance.
People do
And so
hate it
that's
when you
what I
smile in public. You know what I mean? Not, I mean, when you see, it's like people are like, "Oh, I was embarrassed. I listened to Keith and the Girl. I was laughing on the subway." Like, shouldn't that be nice? Like, no, I'm getting looks.
yeah.
Like, what are you so fucking happy about?
But
When
then also you could just be the person on the bus that looks like the Joker. So you know what I'm saying?
right,
There's levels.
you were on a
Gotta
Zoom
give somebody a
recently. You
card. I'm listening to Keith and the Girl.
right, right, like the Joker. I have a laughing problem. I hear funny things and it makes me happy.
Yeah.
You were on a Zoom fairly recently,
Sure.
and you told me, and one of the people
The one that I
had
took a picture and I
yes,
sent it to you.
and it's just in case you don't remember, this was yesterday. And their Zoom background was the American flag.
Okay,
And you
can I give
said,
context?
you as much context as you want. I
A
don't know
little
how
bit, yeah.
personal
So
the thing is.
of course, of course. So I'm on a Zoom call and I'm on a panel, and funny enough, it ties in. It's a queer panel. It's like a queer
Okay.
representation panel, and I'll leave it at that. And so the people, the cameras are popping open, and all of a sudden, one of the little squares on the Zoom, because you know where there's enough people, it's like a screen full of squares.
Right.
One of them, it's like this AI, like Fourth of July looking dog with the American flag behind it, and I could not help it. I like very discreetly took us a picture and I sent it to Keith and I said, "Is it weird that the American flag feels like a threat now?"
You're absolutely right. You said, is it bad that the American flag is low key triggering? It's high key triggering. And
And I was triggered for a second. Like I think that was my coping mechanism was to take a picture of it and send it to you.
am I during Pride Month, during a
I
Pride
know.
event? Yes, it's just the flag. That should be fine no matter what, and it could mean something to you no matter what. But you look around and it doesn't to most
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know I would go camping, and I thought it'd be fun and funny to put the American flag like on a tree next to my tent, like that's my house. It's not funny anymore to me. And I
Oh.
won't even have those little flags that you wave. I used to have one on my desk. Yeah, I like the country. There, I stick it next to the pens. I won't even do that. I have a shirt that has a cool flag motif. I won't even wear it right now.
Yeah.
It is a shame. It's an aggressive fucking flag right now. And that's a
Yeah, I mean,
shame.
as a Puerto Rican, it's always made me a little uncomfortable, and
Okay.
flags in general were always kind of a little odd to me. But now, the Puerto Rican flag with the light blue triangle, and now thanks to Bad Bunny, shout out Bad Bunny, hola Benito, I know more of my history that for a while in Puerto Rico, it was illegal to have the Puerto Rican flag. And so
Mm.
when we talk about resistance and like anti-colonization and anti-colonizer shit, now to me, like I'm getting ready. Oh, well, I'm getting ready to perform later this year. And for one of my looks, I want to kind of put together a flag and somehow like reveal it as part of my number. The Puerto Rican
Okay.
flag, not the American, the Puerto Rican one.
Yeah. What's wrong with the flag? Meanwhile, then they use the flag as mud flaps. These right wing
Yeah.
idiots. Uh, d- Donald Trump. This isn't an exaggeration, and I realize I've been saying that lately in life. But this isn't a joke. This is real. Donald
Sure.
Trump wants you to call him daddy. And I'm being literal. And it was like the head of NATO goes, we should start calling Trump daddy. And Trump starts running with it. And he's putting out the showing memes of t-shirts that say daddy's home. And it's pictures of Trump doing a stupid dance that we all thought was corny, but now he's trying to own it, you know?
You mean the one that he looks like his diaper is a little too full?
Yeah, yeah. But it's like it's sent from the White House, so he enjoys this. I'm daddy.
Of
Now
course.
I don't know if he knows what month it is and what daddy means, but how strange, how beyond strange. But yes, when you have the American flag behind daddy's home, I don't want to put it up so much where I'm at.
It's idiocracy.
It's crazy.
We're watching real life idiocracy happen.
Even Diddy knew not to be called daddy anymore.
Well,
You know, he's like, oh, this isn't a good fucking look. Nothing like a convicted sexual predator though that wants to be called daddy.
well, I'm sure he was walking around backstage at Miss whatever the fuck he used to run, asking them to call him daddy. So
At
that I'm
Teen
sure this is
America,
not new to
right?
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what I was alluding to from Trump's his social media account at real Donald Trump, and this
Ay,
is
Dios
him,
mío.
no confusion.
Ih.
He posted an older song that was written called "Bomb Iran," a play off Barbara Ann. Ba 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 Ran. Bomb Iran
Mama,
is what it
oh
is
my,
now, and he's
oh my
okay,
God.
guys. You know you got to work out the ceasefire. But anyways, here's a picture of stealth bomber bombs coming down on Iran, and it's blowing up. Anyway. How you guys like this one? Bomb Iran. I'd play it for you, but I don't need YouTube giving them any of my money. That'd be ironic.
Yeah, no, no. Let's not do
President
that.
Trump posted a new video on Truth Social featuring a compilation of videos of B-2 stealth fighter jets dropping bombs along with the 1980 song Bomb Iran by Vince Vance and the Valiants. The song, I don't know their other works. The song, a parody of the 1961 song Barbara Ann by the Regents, plays over a video of various B-2 stealth fighter jets, which were used to drop 14 GBU-57 bunker busters bombs in Iran. The song continues with the lyrics, went to a mosque, gonna throw some rocks, tell the Ayatollah, gonna put you in a box, bomb Iran.
Oh my God.
The, how's this helping world peace? Trump posted the video on Truth Social amid rising tensions between Iran, Israel, and the U.S. after the U.S. military strike on Iran's nuclear facilities happened. While Trump hailed the strikes against the nuclear facilities as a success, an early intelligence assessment finds that Tehran's nuclear program was set back by only months. So now Daddy is mad and threatening to sue news organizations that say we understand this wasn't a successful mission as much as you're saying it is. They still have as much of the nuclear program as they did before. And he's like, no, it was the best fucking. You know how he talks. He
Yeah.
said it was the best strike ever. Best strike ever did. I'll give you some quotes. And then puts up the Bomb Iran song. He doesn't need you thinking he didn't get the job done. He wants you to know he was the war president in this case.
And didn't they bomb the wrong thing last time too?
Bomb Iran is the name of several of the region's 1961 song Barbara Ann. I didn't know it wasn't even an original, this parody, I mean. Originally written by Fred Fossert and popularized in a party cover version by the Beach Boys in 65. The most popular of the parodies was recorded by Vince Vance and the Valiants that we're talking about in 1980. Bomb Iran gained a resurgence in notoriety in 2007 during John McCain's 2008 presidential campaign and gained popularity once again during the 2025 U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear sites. So apparently a lot of people came up with Bomb Iran songs. This guy, Vince Vance, he had the big hit. So good for him. Donald Trump is saying fake news on CNN, together with the failing New York Times, I think he's just mad at Wordle like I get. I think that's why he's really hating it. I don't think it's because there's big words in it. Together with the failing New York Times, have teamed up. When did news organizations ever team up, by the way?
Never.
They try to beat each other with scoops. Teamed up in an attempt to demean one of the most successful military strikes in history. The nuclear sites in Iran are completely destroyed. Both the Times and CNN are getting slammed by the public.
Ay, Dios mío.
Okay. A lawyer threatening President Trump has sent letters to CNN and the New York Times threatening legal action over the reporting of the U.S. attack in Iran. The attorney alleged that the stories published on June 24th describing an early U.S. intelligence assessment of the strikes were false and defamatory. So they're saying, no, we know that you didn't clear out the nuclear shit. And like I said, they'll be back in business in 3 months. And he's like, no, it can't. Well, I guess we'll find out, won't we? No, not true. Okay. Trump has insisted that Iran's nuclear enrichment sites were completely and totally obliterated, but the preliminary assessment from the Pentagon's intelligence arm, blah, blah, blah. The Pentagon released new details about the U.S. attack on Iran's nuclear facilities, including how much the military prepared for the mission, the crews who carried out the raid, and how Iran tried to fortify one of the sites in advance of the bombing. However, Thursday's briefing yesterday did not provide new intelligence supporting President Donald Trump's assertion that the strikes obliterated, in quotes, Iran's nuclear program. Both Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Dan Kane and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth referred questions about that to the intelligence agencies until all the intel is gathered. The full extent of damage at the facilities remains clear. So, of course, the press is saying, how can you prove to us what information you have that you did destroy it? I can't share that. No, but you could just really, really promise?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the most beautiful bombingest ever. Just believe me.
Yes. He so you had Governor Newsom in California, and he's saying, hey, I don't know why Trump thought he was allowed to bring in the National Guard, bring in the Marines to fight.
Well, not even bring in, take over. He took over.
Right.
Yeah.
And saying, hey, this is on the side of ICE. We got to start deporting immigrants.
Yeah.
And Gavin Newsom said, I don't know if you know about law, but I'm the governor, and that's what I do. And Trump said, hey, I made a phone call with you, and we had a long conversation, and you weren't even willing to hear anything I had to say. And Newsom is saying, that didn't happen. Not only didn't you call me, you didn't leave a voice message. You didn't leave a message for anybody. This call never happened. Fox News is saying, we know it did happen. And now Gavin Newsom is suing Fox News $800 million for making up that they have proof that there was a 60-minute phone call.
Well, Period. I know that's right, Gavin Newsom. You better do your rich boy activities. Yeah, no, and he also was threatening to arrest him. Like he was threatening
Right.
to arrest a sitting governor because he wouldn't just roll over because he wanted to take over said governor's, you know, state guard.
Right. Right. And you know what, by the way, okay, you got rid of the nuclear shit. Good. If that's good. Why you gotta the weird bragging that only pokes can't be good for America specifically. It
No,
it,
no.
it can't be good. You're not I mean, he's not nervous, I guess. He doesn't live in LA or New York City with a big Iranian population where they might want to fucking poke back in country.
Yeah.
Huge Iranian American population in LA, in San Francisco, in San Diego. Like I said the other day, if the place has sand, these guys are there, okay? They love it. I mean, so what do you do if you're in these populated places and you're nervous that the president keeps poking these people? I have your screenplay on you, right? Maybe they'll leave you alone. Nobody wants to deal with that bullshit. And then in New York City, people are running for mayor, and a
Yes.
Muslim just won the Democratic primary, so he's
Yes,
on
I
his
saw
way.
that. I saw that.
And so I don't follow it anymore since I moved to North Carolina, but Donald Trump makes it clear how I think it's finally happened. The Democrats have crossed the line. Zohran Mamdani, a 100% communist lunatic. Well, I didn't know he joined that party. The communist lunatics have just won a Democrat primary and is on his way to becoming mayor. We've had radical lefties before, but this is getting a little ridiculous.
Well, and he takes it extra personal because it's New York. So
Right.
he has a hard on for California and a hard on for New
Right.
York. He doesn't really give a fuck about the rest of the country, low
Right.
key, and Florida.
He looks terrible, Trump wrote. He looks terrible. Okay, Brad Pitt. His voice is
Well,
grating.
he's obsessed with good looking people too. It's all about
Right.
like, general casting for him, right?
All right. His voice is grating. You just hired Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to explain health to me. Vaccines. I don't know what's in you. His voice is grating. He's not very smart. He's got AOC plus three, Cortez, Alexandria Cortez.
Yes.
Dummies all backing him. And even our great Palestinian senator, crying Chuck Schumer, I didn't understand that he got that nickname, is groveling over him. Yes, this is a big moment in the history of our country. If this whole thing isn't nothing but racist, and again, I don't know this guy, but when I see a Charlie Kirk or people like this or Stephen Miller, a known racist, and they spread a meme of the Statue of Liberty, but in a whole hijab,
Yeah.
saying, hey, this is what happens when you don't take care of immigration. Somehow people are going to get confused and hire a Muslim for mayor. No exaggeration. They're writing everybody forgets 9/11. How isn't this pure fucking racism?
A lot of it is, and then a lot of it is a reaction to his policies, right? Because he is a very, very, very even like radical for some of the Democrats, but radical is, I wouldn't label him that because
Right.
I don't think having access to buses and like,
Right.
housing is radical.
He's saying, how about
Which is like what
buses
he's
should be.
running on. He's like, I want to give people free buses and I want to make
Right.
sure people can have jobs and I want to make sure people can have housing. Wait. And the one that broke to Fox News, babies, newborn babies can have a free bassinet. He's giving
Yeah.
away baby baskets.
I'm looking at, he wants,
You mean the party that wants to make sure I don't get rid of the baby
right.
doesn't even want to give me a fucking basket when I push the baby out?
That's right. So Fox News like puts up a screen and it says Zohran Mamdani's socialist promises, and we're supposed to
Yes.
be shocked. Like,
Yeah.
this is where our money's going.
Yeah.
No cost childcare.
Yeah.
We're supposed to go, wow, what a shithead.
Yeah.
Baby baskets to newborns and $30 minimum wage.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. And then
Our
another.
country's gonna be Venezuela tomorrow.
And then I see, Charlie Kirk. I mentioned the big piece of shit. He shows a group of Muslims hanging out in Brooklyn. He says, "Is this Tehran? Nope. Brooklyn, New York. Import the third world. Become the third world. It's a celebration that Muslims are having together, and we're supposed to go." Because you pushing it, you race baiting. We're supposed to go. Oh my God! Now they just walk around here. We had 9/11. We weren't supposed to forget.
I know, I know, I
Fucking
know.
crazy. And you know what? I mean, of course, I'm following the Diddy trial. When
Of course,
and
as
he
one
and
does.
and that the video came out, he's apologized for it, not with real words, of course, don't get me wrong, but he said like, oh, that was a one-time moment, me kicking this girl's head like a soccer ball, beating her up and down the
God,
fucking
every time you
hallway.
describe it like that, Keith Malley,
I don't want people to forget. I really,
I
really
know.
don't. It is
I
that bad.
you take me back to it as somebody who was not kicked around like a ball, but did
Right,
experience assault by the hands of like an intimate partner. It's it's weird exposure therapy the way that you address it because it almost like it's triggering, but like not in a bad way. It's like
right.
it reminds me, but like you make it funny. Like it's weird. It's weird, but you help me process it in a weird way because I've been having to engage with content about the Diddy trial in a very specific and like consensual and like
Right.
willing way. Like I have to turn away from it a lot. And so hearing you describe it like that, it's always like, oh, Keith Malley.
And then I get nervous that let's say and I'll give you my opinion, what I think is going to happen, but
He's gonna
he,
be OJ and get
if
off.
if he OJ's it up, if he applesauces it
The
up,
fact that that's a verb, he's gonna OJ it up.
if and I think the world will forget and be like, well, it must have been shit in that courtroom we didn't hear about, and everything's fine, and he'll all but take back the apology. There's shit
Yeah.
you didn't understand, and like how do we put up with this other shit? All the shit I just said about Trump, and Diddy's gonna if Diddy gets off, then he's everything's gonna be forgotten. Not just off and his career ruined. I think if he gets off, his career is not ruined,
I'm
and that worries
I
me.
would not go to Vegas and bet against you, Keith.
Right. So it seems the trial is over, or as I'm talking, they're doing their the final closing remarks, but they'll be
Yeah.
able to deliberate. If not today, the jury then on Monday. 60 days, 6 weeks. That's how long this thing was. The defense brought up no witnesses. They're like, well,
Yeah.
hopefully the prosecution didn't explain their case enough. They're just hoping.
Those
Diddy,
lawyers went, ah?
right. I don't want to give you more to think about. If this hopefully burden of proof is something that you fuckers will be dumb about. Good.
Yeah, yeah.
You would think after I saw that fucking video, the other shit you're bringing up isn't laughable. It isn't. There's no way that happened. Like, well, it might have because that
Yeah.
one off was a real big fucking one off. Diddy did not take the stand, which is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
If you're him, how could that
Did
end
you
up
see that
good?
Kanye showed up to the
Yeah, I
courthouse?
said this the other day that Kanye showed up to the courthouse, and like me, I'm like, whose side is he on? What's he gonna say on stage? He is so egotistical. I think he thought he could just go on the stand. He wasn't called to be there. In fact, they put him in a
Well,
side room to watch the video, and then
yes.
then 10 minutes later, he was bored and went home.
So there's another podcast, Stephanie Sue's Rotten Mango, and she I think through Spotify got like a press pass to be in the room. So she's been in the room covering the trial.
Okay.
And I actually just watched her latest episode last night. So she talked about Kanye. And she did a whole episode framing it around that Kanye might be the next one to fall, quote unquote. And they were connecting all the dots to Kanye. So like Kanye is very pro Diddy, like he's
Okay.
all about like supporting Diddy, but they've had a sordid history and a sordid past. But like he just put out a song with Diddy's son.
Mm.
Oh, and then long story short, that one of the things that Stephanie Sue was talking about is that the day before Kanye came, there was something like there was a big sidebar, and there was a big sidebar like in the judge's room for a long, 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 long time. Long story short, she thinks that they did not want Kanye to show up because the person that was testifying
The
that day.
prosecution or the defense did not.
Yes,
The defense. All right.
yes, because there's a Jane Doe that was on the stand that was talking about an unnamed rapper
Mm.
and his connection to everything. And basically, the conspiracy is that Kanye is the unnamed rapper, and Kanye was trying to show up to low-key intimidate Jane Doe, and that's why he was at the
And if
courthouse.
Diddy gets off, then most likely, if Kanye
They
ever
won't come
comes
after
up
him.
later, he'll be fine. Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And he showed his allegiance to the side
Right.
that, because I'm sure he's on tapes somewhere to himself.
Right. But no, it's just the dude that loves to make Nazi shirts. Uh, um, I wonder if that video that we're talking about,
Yeah.
the FIFA video, if if I wonder if the jury by now is desensitized by that video. So they all saw the video in the courtroom when the whole thing started. In
Yeah.
fact, when they were picking the jury, can you handle this kind of talk?
Yeah.
Never mind talk. Here's a video.
Yeah.
And but then the defense at one point, fairly recently, has even though Diddy said yes, I saw the tape, it happened. Now doesn't talk, and the lawyers have a video expert on and says, "Is there any chance this could be manipulated?" And the guy goes, "No, not at all. No, how about this part or that part? This no." And it's like, "Oh, defense, did you just fuck yourself? Because you literally, no exaggeration,
Yeah.
literally the jury saw that video about 50 times, 50. But could that be a trick to desensitize the jury to being like, okay, we get it, he hit her."
Yeah, I mean, honestly, low key, high key, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. And honestly, I think it kind of gets lost a little bit in the sauce, literally, of all the lube talk and all the
Right.
baby oil
Right.
talk.
Right.
Like it does because there was so much focus on that,
Yeah. Yeah, we're just supposed to go, okay, baby oil, who cares?
Yeah.
Like that, right? Like that's almost silly. Applesauce, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, 8 men and 4 women. Did that concern you? Like a man could be like, well, why did she keep texting? If well, you know why she keep texting, don't you? Oh, you brought up a woman did drugs. Well, then what the fuck do I know what's happening in that room? The number of men makes me nervous,
Well,
and their age
and
too. Sorry, and their age makes me nervous. If
yes, and because if you look at social media, the percentage of men that are kind of like, oh, well, what about it? What about? But there's also, it's just how many men in that jury are abusers themselves. You don't know, you know what
right.
I mean? And abusers tend to, have a soft spot for other abusers.
Right. Or,
So,
or or to act like you're not doing anything wrong. You say they're not doing anything wrong. Like people being so pro Trump because it means you can get away with any fucking thing in your regular life.
exactly.
Uh,
Oh, humanity. Oh, the humanity.
what do you think? So the jury isn't sequestered.
Mm.
So meaning they can go home at the end of every day, but of course, they're not supposed to talk to anybody about it. I don't know how you fucking don't.
I mean,
You're
they
not
must
supposed to
all be
watch
single
it.
like me.
You can't, right? You can't watch anything on TV about it. You can't pick up a
Yeah.
paper. Well, I don't know. Then you're a
Just
fucking
play
idiot.
Animal Crossing for 8 hours.
Yeah, give me a break. What are you up to today? You know what I'm up to today, Bob. I can't tell you. Like you're not telling anybody, and you're not looking something up. You find a way to be the dumbest person alive. How stupid.
Yeah.
So
Well, then
anyway,
and then imagine that you have to be the dumbest person alive to make a choice about somebody else's life.
right, right, right. So yeah, that's weird. They got to be talking to people, but it's funny. The jury can't even talk to each other yet until deliberation. That's coming
Sure.
up. That's
Yeah.
weird too. Like they have to pass each other like on their way home and leaving the courthouse and just be like, huh, today was a fucking day, right? You know
So
what I mean.
what you eating for dinner, Jim?
Right. Applesauce, Jim, piece of shit. So Diddy, he has to say himself as opposed to the lawyer saying on his behalf he will not take the stand.
Yeah.
The judge said, okay, and you're doing this of your own volition. Diddy says, yes, of course. Judge says, in general, how you feeling? And Diddy said, quote, doing great. Okay, all right. I'm doing fantastic.
I
And
mean,
then Diddy said, I don't know if this is a power play and he doesn't know who's in charge. I want to thank you, Judge. You're doing an excellent job. And the judge goes, okay, thank you for saying that. You're doing great.
it's very my Delulu become my true Lulu vibes.
Okay, right, right. Well, I mean, Diddy was also in the courtroom in the past, reading passages from the Bible to himself, so that other people saw that. Now he moved on from the Bible. He's reading The Power of Positive Thinking.
Oh, of course.
Okay, okay. You know what? The victims should go on the stand. Like, oh, what's that book you have? Oh, how to live your life and not kill yourself after being abused like a goddamn animal. Oh, you can't have that on the stand. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Well, I'm curious because they've kind of talked about it a little bit, but she said that she was going to wait till after the trial to really get into it. So again, Stephanie Sue, YouTuber,
Yeah.
podcaster, Rotten Mango is the podcast that she's covering the Diddy trial.
Okay.
That there was a couple times that he turned around and looked at her directly in the eye and mouthed to her, "I know who you are." And that for
What?
weeks, yeah, and that for weeks, strangers kept coming to her and her assistants and asking them, like, "Oh, I'm a big fan. So where are you staying? Oh, I'm a big fan. Do you go home after the trial? Oh, I'm
God
a big
damn.
new person every day. New person. What part of town are you staying in?" And that one day her assistant had to like take her away because somebody was hugging her and trying to reach into her bag. Like all kinds of
Mm.
weird shit was happening. And that she disappeared for like a week too. And then she came back and was like, "I can't talk about it yet, but we're gonna get into it once the trial's over because a lot of weird shit happened."
Are people going to be? What's the difference? Will people society will be more calm and not go after
That
her
she didn't
after
want
the
to take
trial?
away, she didn't want to take away from the trial coverage and like make it about her.
Like she
And she
didn't want
just,
to be the new victim per se.
yeah, or make it about her.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who'd we talk to? Three victims over these past weeks. Seven former employees. One of them being the victim. Four hotel workers. These fucking hotel workers. What pieces
I
of dog
mean,
shit.
I'm just curious what else is happening in hotels that like
Yeah.
is not being talked about and it's just getting paid hush money away.
Right. Two male escorts were talked to. One juror was dismissed. Defense tried twice to do mistrials. Of course, that didn't work. Now, I guess everybody knows this by now, but these are the charges. You would think soccer ball kicking. No.
No, FIFA.
One count racketeering conspiracy. So you wonder, like, will that
That's the
confuse
one
the
that they're trying
jury?
to get him on. Like that's the one that they're really trying to get him on is like the Rico, no?
Yes. So they have a list of like 10 or 11 things that qualify for being found guilty in this RICO case. Kidnapping, arson with Kid Cudi's car,
Yeah.
forced labor, obstruction of justice. And I don't I don't see how I was nervous about the semantics of what people could think that word means. Are you an enterprise? Well, of course he is. But how they prove that one or find that one guilty is the jurors, 12 jurors, each one has to pick two things out of these 11 things that they believe did happen. Arson did happen, or sex trafficking did happen, or
It's like a giant
obstruction of
game of
justice.
Clue.
And they don't have to agree. So I can think arson happened, kidnapping happened. You could think forced labor and obstruction happened. We just matched. So they need everybody to come up with two. I don't see how you can't,
Yeah.
which is good, I think, but okay. Two counts of sex trafficking. I could see getting off on that if these idiots say that it wasn't,
But it was
that everything
consensual.
was consensual. Exactly.
Yeah.
Two counts transportation to engage in prostitution. That happened.
Yeah.
Like crossing state lines somehow is the big deal. That did happen. That's a fact.
Yeah, and technically prostitution is illegal in a lot of places too.
Right. Did they get to say like, hey, don't forget, he was included in that club shooting? They did find a gun on him that day. Yeah, dismissed. Has nothing to do with now. Has nothing to do with this.
Don't forget he made those kids walk in the middle of the night to go get him pie, and then when they came back, he threw it back in their face.
to get him cheesecake and another burrow. Let's add that to it. Oh yeah, and he beat the shit out of somebody that made one of his videos.
He also famously like never really paid his artists. Like a lot of
Oh
his
yeah,
artists
not
never made
nice.
money working under him.
Not nice. So when the, so
Not,
when
not a
this
nice guy. No, he's not.
it's like everybody's saying they'll blackball you from the community, but he never paid people in the first place, Your Honor. Come on. What are we talking about? If he is found guilty, they of course can seize his property and all that shit. But I think we're just more concerned him going to prison forever. Although I don't
Yeah.
want him having extra money for the commissary. When all you got is those brownies with nuts in them. That's a big thing. That's a
I,
big thing.
why, yes.
Um, let's see. Yeah, I. What are your thoughts? How do you think it'll turn out? Do you even bother guessing?
Ooh, I release it to the universe, but I
Okay.
know the universe be funny sometimes. Like R. Kelly got locked up, but and then like look at Bill Cosby, right? Like
Yeah.
they got him, but then they didn't. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and then, it's just he's a man, he's rich, I don't know, man.
Right. I mean, if all you need is two things out of 11 to
That I
count for
didn't
the
know.
Rico
That
case,
that I didn't
and
know.
again,
And
you don't
that
have to match. I don't know how you wouldn't find two things definitely did happen.
no, that feels more like a winning game of Clue at that point.
Right? It-
Okay, here's my final.
okay.
Candelabra in the dining room.
Right. He somehow used it violently. I mentioned this some time ago, but there's a movie you can stream now called Woman of the Hour,
Oh,
and it was about. Have you seen this?
no, I don't think so.
You would, I think you'd love it, but maybe it's triggering. But it's a woman that was on the dating game.
Oh, I saw of it, but I did not watch
It's
it.
Anna Kendrick and based on a
Yes.
true story. And
Yes.
a guy that's on the dating game ends up stalking her, et cetera, et cetera. And of
Yes.
course, what's going on around it is toxic masculinity. Even the host of the dating game is a big piece of shit. It's a fantastic movie. 91%, only an hour and a half, too, which is good. 91% on Rotten Tomatoes by critics, 68% by regular people. I can't help but think it's dudes going, yeah, doubt it.
Probably. More
You
than
know?
likely, yes. Yeah.
I do love game show movies. I realize, like, I don't know if you saw this movie Quiz Show about the cheating behind the scenes. The Luckiest Man in America is out now about this guy that cheated on Press Your Luck. I love these so much. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
why. Maybe because I love these game shows, but I love
I
knowing the
mean,
fucking
you
behind
like
the scenes.
games.
I like games. I could say I
It'd
have
be
my
like me saying, "Oh my God, these movies with drag in them. I seem to
right.
like them."
They keep finding me. Let's have more fun with the entertainment corner. Squid Game 3 is out now.
Entertainment corner.
Fuck. Squid Game 3 is out now. God damn. In the
Wait,
original
3 is out?
season 3, they kind of stopped the second one kind of early. There's only 6 episodes. They said to be continued, but I guess people got confused what that means. You know how sometimes Netflix cuts things in
Yes.
half, so they're
Yeah.
calling it season 3 now, but there's only 6 episodes.
Okay, okay, okay. Yes,
The
I did watch Squid Game.
so you remember the guy number one, the old guy, and you think you're on his
Yes.
side, but
Yes.
surprise, surprise, he runs the whole fucking thing.
Yes.
In real life, the actor's a fucking rapist. He's in prison right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that game was squidded.
1 year in prison for being found guilty of indecent assault. So I don't want to jump and say the word rape.
Ooh.
Indecent assault. 80 years old. Forcibly molesting a woman on 2 occasions.
Ugh.
All
How,
right.
okay, I was having a conversation yesterday,
Yes.
and you are a penis having man, right?
Thank you. First of all, yes, very much so.
Congrats, Liz. I'm sure you enjoy it. But I last night was talking to a non-penis having they them who
Okay.
actually said that they purposefully do not identify as a man because ugh men.
Okay.
Um
I hear you.
as one, how do you feel about your kind? And I'm not saying women are perfect. Women are problematic too because what? They're people. That's my saying, right? You
Right.
know, trans people, there's trans people that are assholes. There's gay people that are assholes. There's women that are assholes. But men historically tend to like trend a little bit more
Yeah.
problematic.
Well, I would do what I can, and I don't have to walk around with an American flag. I do have to walk around being a man. It's tough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's a shame.
And so, and then that's another thing, right? Because then there's the whole kind of like, oh, male fragility and that like the male
Mm.
loneliness problem. Although, again,
Nah.
congratulations, you're not experiencing that. But like, I am experiencing
What's
some
male
levels of
loneliness?
like,
Incel?
well, yeah, that's a different way of, I mean, kind of, yeah.
Okay.
There's like think pieces and like, that they blame it on women that men are lonely.
Right. You're a piece of shit. Women don't want to fuck you, and but
Yeah.
it's
But
them
it's women's
being a
fault.
piece of shit. Right.
It's those cat ladies' faults.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I was curious, like if you ever have feelings about it, thoughts about it.
There's literally nothing I can do, so no. It's just, but I do understand. We've talked about this with Hemda on the show before, and she points
Sure.
out like, hey, what's the deal with you're putting all this shit on men, and men aren't as horrible as you're acting, but privately, every dude has said to Hemda like, hey, be careful with this guy. You know, men. Like, well, then what are we talking about? So
Yeah.
men know. What am I
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
do?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah,
That's why during the gender reveals they get so upset when it's pink.
right, right, they do, right? Like you're on camera, you can't even hide it. Yeah, you're upset because you're nervous. Yeah, because you know what you did. I'm talking about like if will people forget when if Diddy is found not guilty, and I think he'll be able to make a music video right away, and not to necessarily compare the two, but Will Smith after that slap with Chris Rock, he's coming back in a big fucking way, Will
Of
Smith,
course.
and I remember it bothered me
He'll
watching.
do it in a movie within the next 5 years as a skit.
He did
He,
already.
oh,
In Bad Boys 14, he has some kind of he's having some kind of trauma and he can't take a sharpshooting shot. He gets a little dizzy and he's fucked up. And Martin Lawrence goes snap out of it, slaps Will Smith in the face. And it's like, well, this just fucking happened. And this is obviously a reference to that. You don't go later like, you know what I didn't even fucking think about? I hope he doesn't think we're mocking this. And I'm saying a slap isn't a big deal. He slaps
he's
Will Smith.
desensitizing us.
Yes, he slaps Will Smith like 5 fucking times, no exaggeration, right in a row. And then Will Smith gets his shit together. That's how you cure depression, and is back in the
Oh, good to
game
know.
and saves the movie. Yeah, so you are making a joke of it.
Yeah.
Um, Will Smith did do some stupid non-apology videos saying, "Oh, hey, maybe I shouldn't have done that." But hey, I don't want people talking about the family, right? But no, I'm saying I was wrong. But if somebody shot on your wife, I'm saying I was wrong. I can't help what you people are hearing. Now he
My
has a new
bad, but Fifi's. But my bad, but Fifi's.
right. Now he has a new album out, and I think "Pretty Girls" is the name of one you might have heard. I don't know. Anyway, he I'm gonna play for you
Has
him.
not made it into my algorithm, so I'm very curious.
Well, I didn't mean to bring it up. Now it is. Um, and
Thank
he
you.
just did a this is with a Charlie Sloth, a DJ who has a
Oh,
radio station. He has a segment on his show called Fire in the Booth, and supposedly people are ad-libbing or freestyling. This
okay.
is Will Smith promoting his album and throwing in a freestyle. What you hear right away will be the host, Charlie Sloth, doing some sound effects, and Will Smith supposedly making words out on the spot. But they thought about these.
Of course.
And if not, these are his real fucking feelings, if you ask me. Anyway, this is Will Smith after his so-called apology.
Okay.
Which, by the way, let me bring this up too. Sorry, one of the songs he has. I forget what the name is, but I did see the video, and it's him playing all these different characters in a salon, dressed all in wigs, all in drag, and but having
Like Eddie Murphy.
yes, and each person is having a different point of view about the real celebrity Will Smith.
Okay.
Yeah, he can't be someone's singing. He can't get an Oscar anymore, and it's like,
Oh.
oh, because he's too good. He would win
Oh.
all of them. Says another woman. Another woman says, yeah, you're picking on him, but he can buy and sell you. Well, I wouldn't let
Oh.
him sit in this fucking chair. Will Smith comes in at the end, and the person was like, I wouldn't even let him sit in my salon chair. He goes, hi, Will, would you like a chair?
That is so
it's
masturbatory.
acknowledging how he got in trouble at the Oscars, but it's acting like it's all how we talk, and really, it's not that big a fucking deal.
Yeah.
Here's the improv rap.
Okay.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good effect. I get that one. Hold on, we have that. Hey, Will, you ready? From a time long ago.
You know what time it is when you hear this, right?
No. It's time.
So this is old Charlie doing sound effects. You hear this, okay?
I hear voices, but
Okay,
I
so he's
hear
just doing
voices.
he's just doing sound effects, and now he's going to play like the introduction of a boxing thing.
Okay.
So Will Smith just starts like shadow boxing, like
Okay.
he's Muhammad Ali. Which, by the way,
Okay.
keep that in mind. You went up to punch fucking the 80-pound
Wet.
Chris Rock, right? But you were Muhammad Ali. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Big Will. Charlie Sloth in the building.
Come on,
Here we go.
New shit.
The
new
whole
shit.
world dark as night, let there be light. My insights don't sound right in sound bites. I be sitting at the table with the Jedi Knights. Y'all still sleeping on me like red-eye flights. I ain't a prima donna, I just ain't with all the drama. I took the little Ali, mixed it up with Obama. Suffocated poverty, now I got wealth trauma. Dropping game in my IG stories, a stealth bomber. Road to success.
He does drop a lot of game in his IG stories. He's like, don't take video of me without my permission.
And we know
Straight
all
up.
about that wealth trauma.
Navigated the narratives, raised 3 kids, made it through 2 marriages, Oscars, Emmys, Grammys, and when I stare at them, hearing them whisper, you got every right to be arrogant. You in the presence of greatness, still gracious, top-notch taste, too allergic to basics. Y'all can look, but you'll never find a replacement, and all this from Jeff's mom's basement. I am the illest. Yeah. I'm the illest.
He improv raps his own chorus. Now here's where we get to the Will Smith or the Chris Rock stuff.
Sure.
He's heating up. Now, I'm not the type of man to move in malicious ways, and I am too grown to play childish games. But if you're talking crazy out your face up on the stage and disrespect me on the stage, expect me on the stage.
Oh.
Yeah, you caught that. Let's do that one more time.
Yeah. The illest. He's heating up. Now, I'm not the type of man to move in malicious ways, and I am too grown to play childish games. But if you're talking crazy out your face up on the stage and disrespect me on the stage, expect me on the stage. Jokers dish shit out, cry foul when it's time to take it. City full of real ones, wasn't raised to fake it. Jill to Meek Mill to the roots, it's all greatness. Global status from my Philly foundation. I am a trailblazer. I'ma tell my own story. I am the narrator. I'ma rip the snakes out the grass. I'm a landscaper. I'ma go to heaven even though I'm a hellraiser. I am the LA.
First of all, high remarks for rhyming stage with stage and stage.
Right. And then he goes like, if you're a joker, meaning obviously him telling a joke, don't act like something happened when you get it back. Where was the, whoa, okay, that's a turn of events because time went by and now you're confusing everybody. Fuck you.
Well,
Fuck
now
you.
he's trying to do the 50 Cent route. Many men.
Right. You know, I heard in the interview, because he's doing interviews now, I heard another one where that's like, how you do it. They're asking him, how are you doing? How are you holding up with the controversy that shall not be named? And he's like, well, I had that down moment, but that only made me stronger. It made you stronger. Well, I hope not physically. I'm glad you're doing all right.
I mean, ooh.
Now, there's
Yeah,
so much...
I saw something came on my algorithm recently, and it was like a side by side of 2 pictures, and it was like a body language comparison, and it was Will Smith and Jada, and the other panel was Tiana Taylor. I don't know if you know who Tiana Taylor is. She's like a singer, performer, actress, and her, new boyfriend. And the body language is that like Tiana Taylor is like very like girly, demurely, like leaning on the man, right?
Right.
And then when you mirror the other picture, it's like Will that's like all, like this, and Jada is like the one in like the man pose.
Right.
And it's just like, what they're alluding to.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I like the whole world's such a fucking mess. So I do try to get back to Entertainment Corner. I do
Entertainment Corner.
I put on a nice comedy. So I'm watching The Bear, right?
You're welcome for your jingle, by the way.
I appreciate it. No, I already clipped that as you were saying it. One episode into The Bear, I am laughing my fucking balls off. What a great fucking
My mom
comedy.
was telling me I should watch it, and it reminded me of you talking about it.
You should not watch it. You started the show talking about anxiety. No, you should
I
not
know.
watch it.
That's what I told her. I was like, I don't think it's for me, mommy.
There's anxiety that I don't know if you'd be able to handle, and it is not funny in any way.
And the sads, like I remember it made you cry.
It
So
made
if it made you cry,
Yes.
it's gonna have me wanting to cut fucking straws.
And to be clear, I like the sads. People think, why are you watching season 4 then? But I like. But it's this one episode, it seems so far, a season that gets me gets me in such a way it should win awards. Putting it on a comedy is a cheap and to make sure that you win for sure, and it's not respecting the category of comedy. Hey, best comedy, musical, or variety show. Like, go fuck yourself. Okay.
Yes.
And now you're going to put this drama under comedy as well. It's kind of bullshit. But anyways, season 1, the final episode, when he goes to Al-Anon, is fucking great. I'm like, oh, that's what this show is about, generational trauma. I can dig that. Yeah. Then season 2, I don't know, man. I don't need you making fucking souffles and shit in the boringest fucking way. One of the chefs, like, hey, try this, chef, and the other, then the main chef like tries it and is like, oh, got the sauce all over the fucking place, and you think that would hurt feelings? What do you think? A little more tarragon. Okay, here's a little more tarragon. Try that, chef. I'm so nervous. And then the chef takes a little bit and is like, perfect. That's fucking perfect. I didn't know you had to be such an asshole. But anyway, there's for those who saw this show, the Christmas episode.
That's the one I remember you talking about.
I love that. And then in season 3. I didn't like anything except when the one woman, I think she won an Emmy for it, and even the one chef happens to be a director sometimes, directed this show episode also. It's when the older black lady is looking for work and can't find a job to save her life. That made me cry. That was fantastic too. So yeah, I'm going to watch season 4 that hopefully out of 10 hours, one blows my mind.
So should I only watch those episodes out of each season?
Yes. You won't miss anything.
Okay, good. I'll do that. Thank you. Look at you. You're out here doing the Lord's work.
Thank you. Well, it's
Entertainment Corner.
And then season 4 starts where he's talking to Mikey, his dead brother, and it's like, going in the past, and he's like, hey, I want to start a restaurant. What should we call it? And Mikey goes, the other guy goes, I want to call it Mikey's after you. And Mikey goes, I got a better name for it. So finally, they're telling you the Bear will be the name of the fucking restaurant, as we know from other episodes. But then that's what it means. God damn it. Everybody's acting like they know what it means. Keith, you don't know what it means? Yeah, everybody gives a different answer. It's the bear you have to deal with. It's you dance with the bear. His last name is Barenthal. I can't bear this fucking show. Like, I don't like
it's people... the bear you choose versus the man.
Right. Oh, now it has many fucking meanings. It's so goddamn deep. Okay. Now I got my own problems. I got to see Squid Game.
Oh, so the newest one is out now?
Just out today, yeah.
Oh, then I know what I'm doing when we're done.
Yeah, I got it. Well, that Squid Game also, speaking of Liz, is this cute thing we have where the reality show came out. And because I saw the fake show, I'm watching the faker show.
Of course.
Or you know what I mean? And
wait, the fake show to the faker show.
I don't know which one's more fake. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm watching the reality show, and I don't get into the reality shows for the most part. Liz does, right. And I'm saying on the show like how dumb it is, of course. And she emailed me, no spoilers. I have opinions when you're current. And I go, huh? Okay, we've never emailed. Interesting. All right.
Oh,
and I read back.
Wait.
Yeah.
If you and Liz get married, are you going to have a Squid Game themed marriage?
Yeah, and only 2 guests are going to live at the end. It's very violent, this wedding. So I go...
Her daughter and the officiant.
Right. This happened to be at 11 p.m. She said, no spoilers. I just have opinions when you're current. So I'm like, oh. And I go... Oh, I'm caught up. All in. That was at 11:04, and then I'm like, I shouldn't have wrote it that way. So at 11:05, I write again. We got a straight up text. I have so many dumb thoughts. I only give this number to serious Squid Game talkers, in parentheses you, and here's my phone number. And that was the beginning.
I know. I remember. I mean,
so now I'm into the Squid Game. This is such a
sweet story. So sweet.
I'm into the Squid Game universe forever now. But
well, of course, when you propose, it'll be a squid on a ring.
Right. Did you see season 2 of Squid Game?
Yes.
Okay. And
I'm all caught up until whatever came out today.
So if you remember the first episode of season 2, the guy that collects people is trying to. They're making a point about how we don't deserve to live in society. So he goes around and finds homeless people and gives either, do you want bread or do you want a lottery ticket? And what am I going to do with fucking bread based on my fucking life, you know? So, yeah, might as well give me the fucking lottery ticket. And we're supposed to be disgusted by that, obviously. So they lose the lottery like everybody does at the scratch off. And then he goes, now give me back the coin. They give him back the coin like, oh, I blew it. I'm learning nothing. Do that in New York City instead of South Korea. You're not getting this fucking coin back. Pen in your eye. That's what you're getting back. You're getting a coin back. Somebody in New
You're
York.
getting the bread shoved up your ass.
Yeah, I'll take the bread, and they start masturbating into the bread. Like, this is a very unrealistic country. But okay, all right. Then so then you got the main guy from the first one.
Yes.
He's on a mission.
And main as in like that was in the game.
Right, the good guy, let's say.
Yeah.
And so now,
Yehoon.
and he has all his money, but he's going to he uses the money to buy guns, to hire a detective. He's going to find who's now running the show. That rapist
He becomes quite obsessed.
Show. He gets very obsessed, and he's gonna find this fucking guy. Anyway, he ends up coming across the guy that handed the coin and the bread. And he goes, you know what? You like playing games? Let's play Russian roulette. It's not a trick. One of us is going to fucking die. The good guy has the gun. The good guy decides to play because, what? Honor? This is the most evil fucking guy you're talking to. You shoot him. This was the plan. But you know what, man? You love games. And I don't think I was supposed to get this out of it. But fuck them. You're just like the homeless people you were pointing out that don't know what's best for them. They're killing hundreds of people constantly, taking advantage of the less fortunate, but you got to play one more fucking game. Thank God you won. What did you say?
Capitalism.
Yeah. And meanwhile, I'm gonna watch this whole third one. So guess what happens? Long story short, he's playing Squid Game again, and he goes, "Now I'm gonna take over the fucking Squid Game and get to the bet." That's impossible. They put you in a room and only take you game to murder game one after another. How are they going to let you in the break room? You dumb motherfucker.
I love that you said the break room.
and then they do red light, green light, yes. Run when it's green, of course, stop when it's red. And then the main guy like covers his mouth. If they see you move in any way, they shoot you if it's red. He covers his mouth and he goes, guys, listen, they'll kill you. Somehow that's okay, but if you twitch a finger, it's not. Okay.
No, the best part is the people that are like, yeah, right, whatever.
Yeah, right, whatever. Yes, you agreed to this game, but they kidnap you. You don't show up to the place because you can't know what the place is. So they kidnap you and force you into this clothing. And if you have maybe you have something on you trying to record, they took that away from you. Something crazy just fucking happened. And they're like, yeah, right. That's going to happen.
Yeah, right. They're going to kill us.
So then somehow they do get behind the door. Yes. And they start fighting in the back rooms with the bad guys. Yeah. And it's so fucking stupid. By the way, the physical shit is so dumb. Somebody gets shot in the chest, but they fall forward so that they fall through these Lego steps, right? Then all of a sudden, there's all this shooting going on, and then two people are talking like they forget there's more shooting, and then shooting comes by them. And they're like, oh, I forgot there was more fucking shooting. And of course, they find the good guy. That's where we're at. The main bad guy in charge now, the guy in the black mask, he says, I'm going to play the games. And we're supposed to be like, what could it mean? So we know who the guy in the mask is. Yes. But nobody else does, including the good guy.
Yes.
And now the games are going to continue. So stupid, I'm in.
Exactly. Why, yes. Yeah, no. And I mean, they got me a little bit that they were trying to make it seem like the guy in the black mask was like maybe softening up to their cause. No, he wasn't. Right. He was never softening up to nothing. Well, he's a bad guy.
Yeah, of course he's the bad guy. There's no subtlety in Squid Game at all. In fact, do you remember they had a trans character? Yes. But it was so over the top, But luckily, they're very liberal in the Squid Games. Yes. And it was only like they made the rapper, obviously being a real asshole, is anti-trans. Yeah. Okay, we get it. He's an asshole. All right, very good. And I remember, how do you watch it? Do you watch it dubbed or do you watch it subtitled in your hair in South Korean language?
That the latter one. I like to hear it in the indigenous language and then read the subtitles.
I did it. I do it however they tell me to do it. And so when it starts,
because you follow rules.
they directed it and wrote it. They must want me to do it the right way. So I watch it dubbed because that's the way it comes out. And then people said I'm watching it wrong. But I'm like, but then they also say the acting is so good except for the Americans. But
The Americans are quite heavy-handed.
They're heavy-handed because you can hear what they're saying. You can't hear what other people are saying, so you don't know they're bad actors too.
I mean,
they talk so loud, even though when you watch it with subtitles,
they
talk so fucking loud and dramatic.
It's an action bang bang soap opera. So ultimately, it's a K-drama. It's a Korean drama with just a lot of action. But at the end of the day, it's just kind of like a big giant soap opera.
Did you notice this in Squid Game? They hate being called dogs. That's the big insult.
Well,
bitch is a big one, and dogs is huge to them. And I guess they're just like, we eat dogs. Don't call me a fucking dog. You know? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's one of those cultures that like they don't even have dogs as pets. You know what I mean?
Right. South Koreans, I did have to look this up. They still eat dog meat. The new law will ban the breeding, sale, and distribution of dogs for meat in 2027. You have time to
Honey,
wean
cover your
yourself
eyes.
off.
Cover your eyes.
Yeah, your dog's getting nervous over there. The law will not punish people who eat. By the way, and your dog's name is Honey, named after more food. Holy shit.
Here she is, if you're watching on YouTube.
Oh, my goodness. Here's Milkbone. The law will not punish people who eat dog meat, but will target those who work in the industry. So you can have it. You just can't get it.
It's like cannabis in New York for a while that you could have it, you just couldn't distribute it.
Right. Like, what are the fucking rules? Okay.
So if I buy the t-shirt, you'll give me the dog meat.
Right. It's Madonna hyping up her sales because I bought a Madonna live ticket and she's like, here's a free CD. I'm like, you motherfucker. I didn't buy the CD.
Exactly.
There's when that guy in Squid Game covers his mouth and is like, I'm trying to tell you rules in secret.
Trying to tell you fuckers how to survive.
Right. It reminds me of that. Did you see the movie A Quiet Place?
A Quiet Place, A Quiet Place. No, I did not. I wanted to. That's the one where like the monsters react to noise, right?
Yes, they'll come and
then
find
they get
you.
pregnant and have a baby.
They couldn't help themselves, and then the baby's
noise.
crying. Oops, well, we still have to fuck. We're horny alone, right? Fear of loneliness.
I started to watch it because isn't there something about like a toy in the beginning that they go into like a store?
Everybody who died because of the deaf daughter, and the deaf daughter takes this toy that makes noise, but she can't tell. But the family can, and the aliens can. That's when you see in the trailers they start running because she did that. And by the way, then somebody else dies at the end. It's all her fault. It's all her fucking fault. Anyway, there's
forget going back in time for Hitler as a baby. Go back in time and kill the little deaf girl.
Hello. Get a time machine, see if she's deaf again, and be like, oh shit, again? We fucked a different. I thought if everything wasn't just perfect, you get a different kind of person. Apparently,
butterfly effect or something of the other, right?
So in A Quiet Place, they go, if there's other noise around you, you can blend in with the noise.
Got it.
So he's teaching, the dad's teaching his son the rules, and they go by this waterfall, and he starts screaming at the dad, and the kid's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why is that fun? Tell him the rules first. Why is it fun to freak him the fuck out? So the kid's freaking out. He's like, no, it's okay. Because of this water rushing, they can't really hear us, and they can't come get... But what if? What if the monsters did happen to hear you? The water did change from a different rock flow earlier, and then you come home and be like,
climate change much,
right? And then you get home, it's like, honey, I was so sure they couldn't hear us. Sorry, they did. He's dead.
Well, he can't even say that because he can't talk when he gets home.
Right. I don't know where he is. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna see all this shit.
Of course you are, because you have a disease.
Right. And again, Squid Game helped me find love. So
see, you wanted to be a part of the community. I think you are a tiny bit neurospicy.
I want, it's because this was such a phenomenon. I had to watch it, and now if I'm 2 seasons in and they're going, it's the final season, what am I going to do? Not fucking watch it?
A completion gene feels a little neurospicy, is all I'm saying.
Sure,
it feels neurospicy adjacent.
Yeah. When's our month?
Next month.
Okay. All right. Well, let's celebrate before they take it away. Let's finish all the shows next month.
It's December because it's the last month of the year and you complete the year.
Right. New movie is out right now. F1 the movie.
Oh,
So
yes.
don't think you're just seeing a car show. It's a movie.
Shout out Sean.
It's Brad Pitt, and it's a 2.5 hour movie. So it's a long race, I guess. These
Oh, it's
races.
Brad Pitt. Why did I think it was the other one, Tom Cruise?
Because it's the same director too, and it has the same feel almost as Top Gun.
Got it.
So maybe subconsciously there's something there. 84% by critics, F1 the movie.
Oh.
98% by regular people. There must be something to this.
I've been missing my little solo movie dates, and I am nursing heartache, so I should take myself on a solo movie date.
Heartache, like dating heartache.
I've been trying, child, and I had somebody that I really thought was like giving me the vibes back, and I swear that he was for a minute, and then I don't know if he got the ick or something, but then it suddenly changed, and like last night I was like, hey, I thought there was like a bit of a spark, but I'm feeling like now I'm just like chasing you, and I think I'm gonna stop that. And he was
Right.
like, yeah, no, but let's be friends, which I immediately deleted him and
Okay.
unfollowed him. Yeah.
So I guess we're going to the movies after all, friend.
Exactly. Exactly. You mean after I asked you 3 times to hang out with me and you ignored me, but now you
Right.
want to be my friend?
Right. Is this? I know there was somebody that you hit on at a gym, and to me,
Yeah.
that could turn into such a bad move because obviously it didn't work out. But
Yeah.
then you have to see this person again. Is this new person somebody you regularly see?
Oh, yes, because it's people that I'm meeting in life, right? Like in real life,
Right.
not on dating apps. And so, but I'm really good at like once I know that I'm very kind of like dumb and dumber, like, oh, if you're telling me there's a chance, there's a chance. But like once I know that it's done,
Right.
I know how to turn it off and be like, oh, cool. Like I don't even really see the person.
I know you were just saying about heartache, so maybe not.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, are you getting better at it? Better at not making up an excuse where obviously they told me no 3 times. Like I remember, I think I even said this to Kyle once after we were dating for a bit, but something was going on and I'm like, I can tell when I'm wanted and I don't like, and then I think she's playing dumb. Like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, forget it. Cause I don't care. It's not worth it. But
I can tell.
I feel
and so,
something and it's got to be acknowledged or I'll play
Yeah.
dumb and we're done.
Well, I'm convinced that there was something there. But I think along the way, when something's very new, you can very easily get the ick. And I think low-key something happened that he just like got the ick because there was a vibe there and then suddenly there wasn't. So I
Right.
felt that shift. And when I felt the shift, that's when I was like, oh, I'm going to stop trying to ask you to hang out with me because in person, you're telling me, sure, 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 let's hang out. But then when I text you, you're like not responding.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the fuck?
People are weird.
And then you're hugging me, talking about you don't want to let go. Oh, you're stuck. But then 2 weeks later, you don't want to hang out with. It just.
And then why do they push it? I guess they don't, because they're pussies, because they don't want to deal. And I don't mean pussies like strong baby making
Yeah.
machines. I mean like an asshole. They
I was talking with a friend. Sorry to cut you off, but I think
No.
I just think it's like post-COVID, people are kind of weird about interacting with each other. I think the internet, right? The immediacy of just having more options, like messes with people.
but they don't
And
have to lie to you, and it would be easier for everybody.
I know I wish people were more honest, but I guess I'm asking for a tall order.
Is it to not hurt feelings? And I don't
Think
think it's
so.
that. You
I
think it's
think
that?
Yeah, I think I really think he's a really nice, sweet guy, and I think he didn't want to hurt my feelings. But again,
Because he doesn't want to hurt your feelings, or because he wants to be liked no matter what?
probably a little bit of both.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like him.
I
Put him
mean,
on.
he's still very cute, but I'm
It
just
doesn't
gonna have
make
to
him
ignore
physically uglier, just inside.
I'm just gonna have to ignore him now.
Right. Here's some heartbreaking news for Brad Pitt. Everybody's having it tough. Police
Oh.
are investigating burglaries.
Oh,
Brad Pitt's house was burglarized. Just the other
Oh.
day, he was out promoting F1. So you know where these
Oh.
celebrities are. That's when you strike.
yeah.
You don't know going on a press tour or being in a big sports game. You have somebody with a shotgun at your house.
I mean, even then, there's still some of those crazy people still break in.
But then they break in any time, but you still try to mitigate it. You're saying, I will not be home, I promise.
Yeah, California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's just a big rash of just burglaries and robberies and all kinds of stuff in California.
This happens to be Los Feliz. Where's that?
Los Feliz, somewhere in Southern California.
Okay.
Yeah.
Los Angeles police responded to the home around 10:30 p.m. Three suspects jumped over a fence, got into the yard, and then broke into the home through a front window. Well, at least they had cameras on them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild.
It's unclear if Pitt's home was targeted by the burglars, or you just see a fucking mansion, or it's just another expensive home burglary. It's unknown how much was taken from the home, but police say it was, quote, ransacked.
It was probably targeted.
Investigators said they will use surveillance video to not get anywhere. Okay.
Yeah. They'll use surveillance video to eat their donuts with.
Right. That's right. I want to mention this. Obviously, you're having a big show coming up
Yes. Why,
in
yes.
Las Vegas.
No, in San Francisco.
In San Francisco.
I was in Las Vegas, and right
Okay.
now Vegas episodes are coming out on the feed. So if
That's
you're
right.
listening to the main feed on Sophie Pod, you're hearing episodes that were recorded in Las Vegas. But no, in great queer San Francisco at the Oasis nightclub, we will be having. Kind of think of it as a silly little variety show, but I'm calling it Mimi Cherry's Big Bake, the Bay Area's first reverse roast. And I have to say, on the record again, but to you directly, Keith Malley, you're a huge, huge inspiration to this show. Me and you would talk about drag roasts because I would tell you about drag roasts.
And they're
we
so
would
cruel, right?
Yeah. And we would compare notes to like, a quote unquote traditional comedy roast.
Right.
And I remember you asking me like, oh, would you ever do one? I was like, fuck no.
Right.
And I was rehashing that conversation with other people. And then I happened to throw out this idea of like, I think maybe even with you, like, well, what if we did a reverse one? Like we were just kind of nice and like, not mean. And enough people laughed at it that I said, let me produce this into a show. But it's also just more of a variety show. I'm bringing together drag performers, amazingly talented, award-winning drag performers. I'm bringing stand-up comedians together. And so they're going to do drag, they're going to do stand-up comedy. We're also going to have a cute little bake where I'm going to let them tell me how amazing I am. And then I'll do maybe possibly, who knows, a drag number at the end. I'm going to do drag.
You're going to. Of course you will. I do see, I don't know some of these references, because I'm such a man, but when I
So
see
manly.
when I see you do your lip syncs,
Yes.
whether it's like something from like two guys talking about the movie Wicked that went
Yes.
viral, this guy, they're so fucking funny.
Oh, thank you.
They're so interesting. So I'd follow
The most
Mimi
recent
Cherry.
one is from Love Island. I do not watch Love Island, but there's so many memes from Love Island. And so there's a girl on the show who is a single mom and she's trying to tell one of the guys like, so I'm a mom. And he's like, oh yeah, mamacita. And she's like, no, I'm a mommy. And he's like, yeah, mommy. And she's like, no, I'm a mom. And he's like, what, of a dog? And she's like, no, I'm a child. And so I did that one with my dog because duh.
Right. It was on the show You. I never talked about measles. No, You. I don't know what you're talking about. Man.
Exactly.
No, the TV show You. I don't have a different TV show.
But before I forget, I'll be remiss to say
Please.
if you are in the San Francisco area, sophiepod.com/live, because I learned from my pod daddy to have my URL and to have my
That's
/live. You'll have to press another button there to go to the actual Eventbrite. But Oasis has been very generous. They have, in this economy, they are very well priced tickets for a show in San Francisco. There's tiered pricing. You can get front cabaret seating or you can get regular cabaret seating. But think of it as a cute little variety show with also the Bay Area's first reversed roast. The world is dark and scary enough. Hello, listen to this show. And I'm bringing together people under a roof for a couple of hours to uplift each other in a cunty way.
August 7th.
Yes, August 7th.
Oasis, of course, in San Francisco. Doors at 6, show at 7.
Yes.
Sophie Pod, SOFE pod.com/live.
Yes.
And just looking at some of the names, I love drag queen names. Nikki Jizz will be there.
Nicole Jizzington.
Oh my goodness.
It's actually Nikki Jizz, but I just love calling her Nicole Jizzington because it sounds like she's like a Bridgerton character. Yes, Nicole Jizzington, aka Nikki Jizz, award-winning drag performer, Jota Mercury, award-winning drag king, Betty Jane, local icon in the making, Sally Lamone, local icon in the making, Seamus Donahoe, my former producer, who but had great camera chemistry with me. He's going to be my co-host for the show. Amir Yas, who is an internet sensation, stand-up comedian, will be doing stand-up comedy, and San Francisco comedy legend Tony Sparks, 20 years San Francisco comedy history, will also be on my show, and
Right.
I will be doing a little drag. And oh, and then I'll also, because I gift giving. Oh, funny, you were talking on a podcast recently about love languages. Recently, it was Casey, but it came up on my algorithm.
Right.
And you guys were talking about love languages, and gifts is mine, but gift giving more than receiving. I
That
love
makes more
giving
sense. The
gifts.
other one's nasty. I love jewelry. Do you? You're the one.
And so I've been surprising my cast members for the last month and giving them their cast gift, and they've been very,
Nice.
very excited. And on that vein, I will also be giving away some fun little prizes at the show. So get your tickets now. They are selling. I really hope that this show sells out. So get your tickets while you can.
I don't want to put more on you, and I don't want to ruin a surprise.
Put it on me.
Are you cooking anything literally? Are you baking?
Oh, well, and I am working on finalizing the launch for Little Batch Company. Thank you so much. I was working on my food permits this week. So I'm also starting a micro bakery, littlebatchcompany.com. And why, yes, I will have some treats at the show
Yeah, you
too,
can't
and
help
some cute
yourself.
merch.
Yeah.
Yes, I also made merch. I made special
okay.
merch that you can only get at the show.
I know that fairly recently I saw
Yes.
a PDF that you put together of your cooking
Yes.
and or baking, and
Yes.
it looks fucking delicious. I don't care
Thank
what's
you.
going on in the bear, but these pictures actually intrigue me. And you obviously know your shit. We have our chat room, keithandthegirl.com/chat every Wednesday. And you're baking a lot during that, and we're all interested in what you're up to. You applied for some kind of one of the cooking shows.
Yes.
And for whatever reason, they didn't take you.
Yeah.
What do you think about being on one of these shows, the worst cooks ever,
Oh.
and just lying at first?
I am a reformed liar.
Okay.
And
it's a slippery slope, right?
And I had to kick a really dear friend out of my life because she's a compulsive liar, in my opinion.
Right.
So it wouldn't feel right to get on a show
Okay.
lying, unless it was the Traders and I was getting paid to lie.
Right, sure. If they tell you ahead of time, please lie.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you watch any of those shows? Like the worst?
They give me anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watching it's like people that like watching people like get hurt. Like I can't.
I
Like
get
it's like
you.
Jackass, things like that. Like
Right.
I feel too much pain. I feel too much of the awkward. I feel too much of the cringe. It just makes me like, ooh.
Right. I hear you. The podcast.
I like to be inspired. I like to watch amazing people be amazing.
That's good for you. Good for you.
Which is why I like watching you.
That's interesting. I like watching a Squid Game where if it's a game, they have to die. Every time they
Because you
die, I'm
like games.
Thank God. I love games. I don't care if murder's involved. The podcast is a series of fortunate events. And like we said, the live show, sophiepod.com/live, August 7th. Mark that on your calendar.
Yes.
And thank you. Anything else the audience should know?
Keith Malley, thank you for being my pod daddy. So happy belated
Bless
Father's Day.
Thank you for taking the power back on that day. I appreciate it.
Thank you. As a queer ally, happy Pride.
Thank you. Happy Pride to you. Thank you.
If you can spare an extra dime and you want to put it towards a queer organization, please put it towards oaklash.com. Like I literally am tattooed the O of the Oaklash on my shoulder. If
Okay.
you're on YouTube, you can see it. It's a great organization. It literally goes into the hands of people that need it. And if you're gay, be extra gay. If you're queer, do it with a little
Flair.
with less fear. And
Less fair, more flair.
yes.
That's
And
what
if
I
you're
say.
an ally, be a motherfucking ally.
Yeah. No, I love
Beach.
gays. I love gays. I love queers. I love it all. I love it all.
Yes.
In fact, is that trans person still in Squid Game? Because I'm on their side.
I think so.
Okay. They're not going to win. That's too bad. But anyways,
I mean,
fingers
does
crossed.
anybody win in Squid Game?
Hello. Apparently not. The winner's like on missions now.
Hello.
Thank you
Trauma.
right. Thank you so much. You're the best.
No, you are.